Hello everyone. Today I will illustrate how to set up Ethernet IP communication to gather data from an Omron CJ2M CPU33 and an NX1P2 PLC to a machine automation controller, NJ or NX series PLC. I am Trinh, Senior Application Engineer for Valin Corporation. Let's get started. So here are my setup. I have a CJ2M CPU33 PLC acting as a slave, connected to the W4S1 Ethernet switch. I also have an NX1P2 PLC acting as a slave, and it's connected to the W4S1. And I have an NJ501-1300 PLC acting as a master, connecting to the W4S1 Ethernet switch as well. And this NJ501 can be NX102, can be any NX series PLC, as a matter of fact, acting as a master. And over here, I'm running the Omron Sysmac Studio software, development software, the CX programmer, which is part of the CXONE, and the Network Configurator to be able to do this. First, we want to set up the CJ2M Cpu33. So to do that, what we want to do is select the new PLC here, double click on it. Actually, I need to go offline. So we select the settings here and select CPU33. Then the network type, we want to select Ethernet IP, and that's how we connect it to the PLC. You want to click settings and type in the IP address of your CJ2M PLC. In this case, I'm using 192.168.250.5. Okay, click OK there, click OK here. So now we're going to need to create a structure to be able to use it in the tag, the global variable, so we can send the data out and receive the data. So to do that, you want to double click on a data type. This will show up. I already created the two structure here. One is from CJ Node 5 and the other structure is to N PLC. If you want to create more structure, you would right mouse click here, click insert and select structure. Okay. And you notice in here, in my structure from _CJ Node 5, I define my members and my data type, the data type for these members. So once you create a structure, what you want to do next is select the symbol. And in this symbol, I already created the tag called from PLC _Node 5. So let's edit this so you see how I set up. By the way, if you want to create a new tag, you would right mouse click in here and select insert symbol. And you're going to fill them out, the name, the data type, the address, and also the network variable. Okay, I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you what I did here. I'm going to right mouse click and click edit. So here's the name that I created, from PLC _Node 5. Because I already created the data type, the structure in the data type, if I arrow down here, the structure already appear. I just select it from here. All right, I'm going to give the address, the beginning address of this structure, and this is data memory 1000. And then I select the network variable, and of course this is the data, the tag that I'm going to send to the NJ501. So I want to select output and click OK. What I want to do next is create another variable so I can receive from the NJ501. So the name of the tag is to PLC _Node 5. The data type Again, it's the structure that I already created in the data type. So I just select it from here, from the list, and give it the address data memory 1100. Select or check mark the network variable and select input, because this is what I receive from the NJ501. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And once you set that up, you want to go online with the CJ2M PLC and download it. So to do that, you click this icon, Work Online, and you notice from offline now it's monitor mode. Then you want to select this icon to transfer to PLC. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I want to send symbol, the command, and then click OK here. I'm not going to do this because I already done that. So I'm going to close this out. But that's how you set up the CJ2M CPU33 with the tag to be able to receive and send to NJ501. What we will do next is to set up the NX1P2 PLC. You have the tag to be able to send to NJ501 as well as receiving it through Ethernet IP. So to do that, you would open or launch your Sysmac Studio and then select the built-in Ethernet IP port and make sure that your IP address is set up correctly. In my application or my setup here, I set up as 192.168.250.1. Okay. Next is you want to select the data type so that you can create the structure with all the members in it so that you can send the data to the NJ501. And if you want to create a new structure, you would right mouse click here and then create new data type. I'm not going to do that because I already created two structures in here. One of them is from _n _PLC1, and within that I have these members, employee ID rather, machine, and they both are integer type, and the temperature _PV as well as pressure _PV are real. And I also have another structure called to _n _PLC, and in it I have three members: machine with the data type as integer, the temperature _SP with the data type real, and pressure _SV as data type real. So once I created all the structures here, I'm going to go to the global variable, and this is where I create my tag so I can send it to the NJ501 as well as receiving the data from it. So under name, I create a new variable called from PLC _node 1, and the data type is what the structure that I created earlier. And very important here, under the network publish, you want to select it as an output. Okay? This is where I send the data from the NX1P2 to the NJ501. I also created here another global variable called to PLC _node 1, and the data type is the structure I created earlier, and that is to _n _PLC. And once again, under the network publish, I want to select it as input because I'm receiving the data from my NJ501 as a master. Once you do that, you would select tools and select Ethernet IP connection setting. And that would open up another windows here. And in here, you want to select this icon here and it will open this window here. Go back here. So at this point, you want to select add, okay? And you would type in the IP address of the NJ, which is 192.168.250, 192.168.250, and then 003. The model name would be NJ501 1300. That's what I have. The revision is 1 for me. This is basically the firmware. Okay? And then click add. Okay? I'm not going to do that because I already create one, which is here. Alright? The next thing you want to do is select the tech set and registration all. By doing that, it will take the global variable that you created and put it in here. And so now you have 2 PLC underscore note 1 as an input, and on the output you have from PLC underscore note 1. What you want to do next is to select this icon here, which is connection. And in here, I already added it in here, but if you don't have this yet, then you want to click add and you select the NJ that you created here. You select that and then you add, but I'm not going to do that, okay? So I'm going to delete this one. And once you select that, okay, you want to set up your target variable, which is 2 PLC underscore note 1. And the originator variable is 2 PLC underscore note 1. And the size is very important here. I have 12 bytes because the members that I have, if you go back here, okay, make sure you have, based on the data type here, that determines how many bytes that you're going to put it here. Okay? So I'm going to put in 12 bytes. Once I finish all this, I want to go and rebuild a project. Okay? Then what I want to do next is to go online by clicking this icon here to go online with the PLC, connect to the PLC. I want to transfer to PLC. So I'm going to click that. I'm not going to do that because I already done that, but I'm going to go ahead and compare here. Okay, it said no difference. You also want to synchronize so that you can download the global variable that you created. I'm not going to do it because I already have it down there, so I'm going to close this. I just want to show you guys how to do that. So that's how you set up the NX1P2 PLC with the tag, with the Ethernet IP set up for sending the data to the NJ501 and receiving it. At this point, we're going to set up our master PLC to receive the data from the CJ2M CPU33 and the data from the NX1P2 PLC. And first and foremost, I need to make sure my Ethernet IP address is 192.168.250.3. Okay, so that's the IP address of my NJ501 1300. Next thing I want to do, I want to go to data type. And in the data type, I will create two structures. One is from underscore N underscore PLC with all the members matching what I am going to receive from the NX1P2 PLC and the CJ2M CPU33 PLC. If you remember, as we created earlier, you see the same name and the data type. Okay, this need to be matching what we have earlier. And that's the same thing for the 2_n_PLC. These are the data or the members that we're going to use to send to CJ2M CPU33 PLC and the NX1P2 PLC. Okay, so I already created here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go to global variable, and we're going to create the tags so that we can receive from the CJ2M PLC and NX1P2 PLC. So I create a from PLC underscore node 5. Node 5, I put it like this because I know the PLC IP address for the CJ2M PLC ends with the last octet of 5. And the data type is from _n_PLC. However, under the network publish, I select input. Why? Because I'm receiving the data, right, as an input from the CJ2M PLC. For the NX1P2 PLC, I have another tag here, which is from PLC underscore node 1. The data type is from _n_PLC that I created in the data type. And once again, it's an input as a network publish. Why? Because I'm receiving the data from the NX1P2 PLC. I also have two more variables, two more tags, and that is to PLC underscore node 5. I'm sending this tag from my NJ501 to the CJ2M CPU33 PLC. And because I'm sending it, so therefore my network publish need to be output. I do the same thing here for my NX1P2. I create a tag called to PLC underscore node 1. The data type is to _n_PLC, and the network publish, that needs to be output because I'm sending the data out. Okay? Once I do that, I want to do rebuild the controller, so that will compile and get all my global variable set up and ready to be set up for EIP. So what I will do next is under tools, I set up the Ethernet IP communication setting, okay, and click this icon here. Now, once this is open, I need to add two devices in here. One is my NX1P2 with the IP address of 192.168.250.1 and my CJ2M CPU33, but the model that you want to select in here is CJ2M-EIP21 with the IP address of 192.168.250.5. So that's the first thing you want to do in the EIP tool. The next thing is you want to click on the text set and registration on. As soon as you click this, it will take the global variable that you created as a input and output and populate it in here. Right? As you can see, now we have from PLC underscore node 1 as an input, and in it, it's the structure from PLC underscore node 1. And for the node 5, which is the CJ2M CPU33, you have these tags in here as well. Okay. If you click on the output, you see the output tag that you create in global variable. Once you've done all this, you want to click this icon here to go online. You want to transfer to the controller by clicking this icon. I'm not going to do that because I've done it already. I'm going to go ahead and compare, make sure everything is okay, and make sure everything is matched, which it is. I'm going to click OK here. I also want to synchronize and transfer the setup for my global variable to the NJ501. I'm not going to do that because it's already down there, and that's why you can, it's the same. So I'm going to click close here. So that's how you set up your master PLC. In this case is my NJ501 to have all the tags to be able to communicate to the slave, CJ2M CPU33 PLC and NX1P2 PLC. I will show you using the Network Configurator to set up the Ethernet IP for the CJ2M CPU33 and the NJ501 1300. I already opened or launched the Network Configurator, and I already configure here the CJ2M-EIP21, which is exactly the model for the CJ2M CPU33. And also on this side, I have the NJ501-1300. So how do we do this, right? So what you do is once you launch this, and let's say you don't have these two icons here, you would select the communication adapter, and it will expand and let you select the correct Ethernet IP. So for my CJ2M CPU33, you want to select this icon right here, this model, CJ2M EIP21. Press and hold it and drag it over, okay? Like what I'm doing here. I'm going to delete it since I already created. So let me do that. You would do the same thing for the NJ501 1300. So you go all the way down here, and depend on what firmware you have, you select the correct revision. Mine is Rep 1, so I'm going to do that and drag it over here. Like I said, I already have one here, so I'm going to delete this. Okay. Now the next thing you want to do is to right mouse click and select change node address, and you need to put in the correct IP address for the CJ2M PLC, and mine just happened to be 192.168.250.5. So okay, for my NJ, it's 192.168.250.3 by default. The last octet is not 1. So make sure you change that. So I'm going to do it again. You can see how. Okay, so that's where you change it. Click OK. Okay, at this point, what you want to do is to try to go online with this setup and upload the tags that you created already in Sysmac Studio under IP tool. So to do that, you select network. I already connected, so let me show you how to connect. So select network, click connect, and this is basically the Ethernet on your laptop or on your computer. You want to select that and click OK, and then click on that TCP2 and click OK, and select this Ethernet IP _1, click OK. So now you're online. How do you know you're online? By looking at this blue right here. You connected, all right? So what you want to do next, as I mentioned before, you want to upload the tags that are already set up in the NJ501 1300. So to do that, you click on it, right mouse click, parameter, upload. Okay, so it's going to upload it, and there you go. So in here, if you double click on it, you will notice that the output that we created, they are here. Same thing with the input. Click here, go here. So they are here, okay? So next thing, what you want to do is to press and hold this and drag it over to the CJ2M PLC, okay? Once you've done that, you will notice that now the tag sets now have the tag variable that created in the NJ 501. Okay, if you go to the connection, everything is set up here, ready for us to download. So I'm going to click OK. How do I download the parameter to the CJ2M? To do that, you click on it, right mouse click, parameter, download. Okay, I'm going to do that. And I can download in the current mode. Not a problem. Okay, so now it's downloading. And it finished. It's completed. So that's how you set up the CJ2M CPU33 with the Ethernet IP and configure it and download it. So after we set up the Ethernet IP for the CJ2M CPU33 and NX1P2 PLC and the master NJ501 1300, I'm going to show you now how quickly the data will be received into the master PLC from the CJ2M PLC as well as NX1P2 PLC. Okay, so here we go. So now here's the data. I'm going to type in, let's say this is employee ID. I'm going to say 555. And immediately you see on this side, that's what we receive in the NJ501. I'm going to change here the machine number. Let's say this is 50. And as soon as I do that, bam, you see the machine number over here. Let's say my present value, my temperature is 555.26. And here we go, 555.26. I'm going to do the same thing for my pressure for my CJ2 PLC. And that is, let's say, 56.79. And here we go, 56.79. Okay? Now let's go to my NX1P2, which is this one. Okay? And as soon as I type in the number here, you should see, actually it's already showing what's appear on the NX1P2 here on my NJ501. But I'm going to change some other value. So it's going to be employee ID would be 111. Okay, and here we go, 111. Machine number, let's say it's going to be 10. Okay, and here we go, it's 10. All right, and let's say the temperature is 113.45. Okay, and here we go, 113.45. And pressure, let's say I see 25.65, let's say 25.65. Here we go. So that's how quickly you get the data from the NX1P2 to the NJ501. As you can see, this is how you set up the Ethernet IP communication to gather data from the slave PLC to the master PLC. And the slave can be C-series PLC, in this case CJ2M CPU33, or any NX PLC or machine automation controller, back to the machine automation controller NX or NJ series PLC. If you have any question or need any help, please call the number below. And thank you for watching.